Greetings from Ogden, Utah. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2023. It is 4:41 p.m. Mountain Time here in Ogden at the corner of Grant Avenue and 21st Street, and it is 28 degrees Fahrenheit. It snowed, at least in the northern part of Utah that we're in right now, the other day. About 5 inches of accumulation. You can see one thing that, you could definitely still rent these bikes out in some portions because you've got like dedicated bike lanes here that are plowed. So the bikes could be used for the green bike system. That green bike system initially was in downtown Salt Lake City only, and then they expanded to Ogden about a year ago. And again, I started outside of Far Better Ice Cream, one of the more popular destinations in Ogden. And you'll see Far Better Ice Cream sold at various other locations, but this is like the actual store location. I think I've included that in one of my previous videos in Ogden. Oh, you know what's interesting? I wonder if this is where so these shaved ice trucks that you see during the summertime, you'll see them at various street corners or like in a mall parking lot. They'll be off to the side in the corner and they sell shaved ice. But I see a bunch of them there, so maybe they get stored there over time. But today we are just going to do a walk around Ogden. I did a video in Ogden about a month ago, but it was getting dark toward the end of that video. That was around 25th Street in Ogden. We'll see how much daylight we have this time. What I was thinking of doing was walking toward the Ogden River. That's an area where in summer riding videos before I've done some bike riding videos on the Poco Traveler channel. But it's also nice to see the clouds and the mountain scenery. So we're approaching 20th Street on Grant Avenue now. Just missed timing up the light. If you go down to the left, there's an assortment of things here, but one of these buildings, there's a climbing gym called The Front. It's their Ogden location. There's also other locations, like one in Salt Lake City. Let me pause the video briefly while we wait for this light. That was actually a pretty quick light, although I have to wait for the left-hand turn signal traffic to stop. Oh geez, I guess it's not going to give me the walk sign, is it? Oh, there it goes. I guess I'm special. I'm the only person who gets to utilize the intersection for those 20 seconds. That's the safest possible method, but I'm sure all the cars at the intersection are like, what the heck? No one's going right now. It's fun to see all these properties up fully, because I'm pretty sure when I did some of my first bike riding videos a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, when I'd be pulling up toward this area, a lot of these were still under construction. So unless I'm thinking of a different area, these are all brand new, or some of them at least, are brand new properties as of the past 2 years. It's possible that maybe like this section might have been done before that, and maybe it was just that corner one up there that's new. I actually came prepared with my mittens today. Last time I did a video, by the way, here's Coffee Link's Coffee House. They're closed right now, but just trying to show local businesses. Yeah, the last time I did a video in Utah was New Year's Eve of 2023, when I went to Park City, Utah, but I forgot to bring gloves that day, so by the end of it my hands were ice cold. You can see another green bike system down here. I didn't bring my chest mount with me, so not going to be doing any bike riding rentals, although to be honest I don't know if I'd want to drag it out of the snow ruts anyway. There's the Ogden River Parkway trail. Kind of wanted to get a glimpse of how the frozen river looked. Oh, it's not quite frozen. It's actually flowing right now. Let me see about crossing the street here. We're right into the sunlight this direction. I'm not going to walk too far this way. I just wanted to peek at it. Man, that water does look pretty high to me. I think I do remember in the past there'd be times where the river, like this whole area, would be flooding concerns because of all the snow melting, and it goes down there and really adds to the water level. Stick my glove back on here. Yeah. Guess we can briefly pop over here, get another look at the river. One lonely mallard swimming upstream. Oh, he's trying to get to higher ground now. So we walk through the snow a little bit. Over here there's a little monument. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember, I thought it had to do with the sun. Oh, I'm traipsing through snow. I should have just stuck with the with the ride, the drier sidewalks. But let's see here. The signage that explains what this is might be covered up right now. Does this by any chance turn this thing? I'm not sure what that does. There's a little map carved over here, the Ogden River watershed. So this is probably the Ogden River that we're looking at right now. Maybe just trying to show everything that's connected to it. Water cycle. This just talks about water cycle, so let's go ahead and try to cross to the other side of the street. I'm just doing this because a little more convenient than traipsing through the snow and there's no traffic coming. So we'll walk one stretch down the bike trail. I call it a bike trail, but I mean anyone can go down this. Walkers, pedestrians. During the summertime you'd see joggers and people walking their dogs. But I have wanted to come by here in the past out of curiosity to see these water levels. I mean, it's not nothing bad right now, but I can just visualize after a big snowstorm. You can see the tip of this part here is a little bit iced up. Have the backside of a restaurant here. Can't recall off the top of my head whether the trail is meant to go that way or this way, but we'll come this way. I wonder if anything has moved into the former Slackwater location. Over here, this green building on the corner used to be Slackwater Pizzeria in Ogden, but I went there once, and the next time we came, actually maybe it was either once or twice, but I think the next time we came by, found out that they were all closed up, and it said that they had moved not too far away. It's still in Ogden, probably like 6 blocks away from here. Yeah, it's still vacant. You can see the sign that says Slackwater, we have moved. But then the reason I like stopping by here is you get to see basically the Welcome to Ogden arch. It pays to live in Ogden, home of Weber State University. So yeah, the bike trail, you could have taken either path, but the actual part to cross, I think, is more toward that side, and then you would continue on the bike trail going that way. I like telling the story. One time when summer I was doing a bike ride over there, there was a picnic table over there, and no one was there, but there was like one or two random DVDs just sitting on the... Sorry, I'm putting my glove on again. One or two random DVDs just sitting on the picnic table. I used to have it memorized what DVD it was, but it escapes me at the moment. Yeah, I thought it was cool when they had the slack water here. The new location's nice too, but these would be like fire pits as you're going inside the slack water, but no one's snatched up that location. That was like a beautiful, at least summertime location, because the windows facing outward would see like the trail and the river right next to it. But then also here you've got Bingham Cyclery. They do specialized bikes, probably electric bikes. And then there's also an Ogden Running Company shoe store down there. Right now we are on Washington Boulevard. Which to me this seems like the busiest street near downtown Ogden, with like the most number of lanes in it. And they also recently, at least further on down, did some construction on the street where you have dedicated bus station stops either in the middle of the street or the side of the street. We got a Neater's Bakery and Cafe here. I should look up how much of a national store Neater's is. I definitely know there's a lot of locations in Utah, but I don't know if it's just a thing in this part of the country or if it's in a lot of states. We're approaching 20th Street. So for some perspective, if you've seen my Ogden videos before, a lot of times I've covered 25th Street. So I always mentally think of 25th Street as the main part of downtown Ogden. And then every street before or after that kind of gives me a mental projection of how far I am away from that. So just imagine being like 5 blocks away from there right now. Yeah, when you start going up toward the mountains, you get some hilly streets. That takes you more into residential areas. So it's not going to seem very scenic probably for this next stretch, but that's alright. Part of it was trying to show more perspective than I have before of Washington Boulevard and sort of the vicinity of the river. And I wanted to approach the Ogden Temple from this direction too. This area here, I have no knowledge of who owns it, but that's the one thing that stands out near the downtown Ogden area to me, is that this is a huge lot of land, like from all this area, because that's where I started the video, on that street, but it's undeveloped. In my head, I think to myself, is that going to be future development? Or I think to myself, could this land be owned by the Latter-day Saints, and maybe they're just like holding on to it? I have no idea. But you can see we're getting closer here to the Ogden Temple. Now, unless you're a Mormon or LDS, and when I say that, I mean like officially welcomed into the church and like go through interviews and pay your tithings. Tithing is where I believe you pay like something like 10% of your income you're supposed to give to the church, and then the church is supposed to turn around and use that to help their members when they're in need. Yeah, but unless you're like an official member, to my knowledge, you're not permitted to just enter the temple. I don't know if there's such a thing as like guest visits, but as far as just, it's not like all these other churches, like Catholic churches or other churches, where you can just go inside and like, oh, let me look around. There are some buildings in, for example, downtown Salt Lake City, you could walk into visitor center or conference center, and they have like things that are geared for tourists or people who just want to learn general information about like what the church is and stuff. But then similarly in downtown Salt Lake City, there's exclusive buildings that are only for LDS. I think some people have asked before, because if they're not familiar with me, I am not LDS or I am not Mormon. But nonetheless, since I'm in the area, I find it interesting, since they're a prominent fixture in the Utah area. I mean, that's one of the first things people think about when they think of Utah and aren't familiar with it. Besides the national parks, they probably think of the Mormons. Give me 1 second, I gotta stop the video and tie my boot. It came unloosened. Alright, all tied up. I think when we get a little bit further, there should be an area where the fence isn't quite blocking the view. Now, this is the back side of the temple. The front side would be on the street we were originally on, by Farr's. Can't remember if I panned toward the church at all when I was going by it on that side. But I do know in one of my summertime videos, once in Ogden, I did kind of walk through the courtyard very briefly, because I am a bit fuzzy on that. I know the downtown Salt Lake City Temple, yes, visitors can walk through all the courtyards, but I'm not sure about the Ogden, Utah Temple. You can see they do have the gates open a little bit here. Oops, I think I'm zoomed in. Hopefully I wasn't zoomed in for too long. My apologies for that. It might have been zoomed in since I last showed that Ogden Arch. Now, during the summertime, this whole area on both sides looks very nicely landscaped. Okay, so once you reach 22nd Street, that's more so when I think of like between 22nd and 25th. I think of that area as the concentrated downtown area where you have like a lot of businesses. See on the corner over there's Pedego electric bikes, there's a salon and spa, and a whole host of other places. Look at this. This looks like a big time ice trap. If you're not paying attention, you could definitely slip on that. See the signs there pointing to the Junction, ballpark, and other public parking. You've got an Indian restaurant over there, computer store. There's Tokyo Station, a sushi bar and restaurant. Forgive me, I keep taking my glove off to take a picture with my phone. There's a place called Heebie Jeebies that looks kind of interesting. Now we're approaching 23rd Street. This little area here is called the Junction. You see you've got biscuits and hogs right there. But then we're going to walk inward a little bit. I gotta do a Google search because a couple of years ago I did a video in Ogden. One of the cool things that I really liked was that they had all these horses throughout like the downtown Ogden area, and each one had a very unique artistic design on them. But it's like they would be covered in this area too. You'd see a ton of them. I don't see them anywhere, so like my mind is kind of a little bit confused. Like, did they get rid of all that? You can actually, one of the dedicated bus stops that they put in is now over here. There's a local megaplex theater right there. I'm eventually going to head back that way, but first I wanted to show. In here, it looks like there's a big time like arcade in the Solomon Center. Here's one of the nice rock climbing artworks or sculptures. The mountains are the means, the man is the end. The idea is to improve the man, not to reach the top. So you can see this guy with the rope, and he's helping that person who's climbing the wall hook on to various parts as they make their way up the wall. Now let's see if my hand doesn't get too cold. If I can quickly Google what happened to these horses in Ogden. You can see an OGX bus. Looks like it ends at McKay Hospital. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. My hand's a little bit too cold now, so I'm gonna have to look that up later on what happened to all those horse sculptures. There's a tiny plaza here that has Five Guys, some Thai restaurant, wing shop. See what movies are playing now. Wonka, Ferrari, Anyone But You, coming soon, Ghostbusters, the Arctic one, and then Napoleon. And then down here you've also got showings for Everyone Hungers for Something. Looks like the next Hunger Games. Trolls movie, and coming soon, Mean Girls. Over on this side there's another coffee house, Therapeutics, Honey and Lime, Cupcake Shop, Fitz Drinks. Here's a handcrafted arts gifts and classes at the local artisan collective. If anyone is visiting Downtown Ogden area, probably my favorite gem to recommend is right over there. It's called Sapori Italian Bakery and Cafe. Definitely, if you're in the area visiting and looking for a bakery, but they also have some nice little pasta dishes and crepes, check them out. There is also a crepe place here, La Crepe OG and Coffee, and they do I tried it once. They had nice crepes as well, but I'm a bakery person first, and the fact that they have some Italian pasta dishes there too. It's not, granted, it's not a huge Italian pasta menu. It's just going to be They got like 8 dishes, and it's not like you're going to an Italian restaurant, but it still tastes like authentic, very good. And then the baked, I thought authentic Italian pastries are really good. So yeah, I give high praise to that place. That's one of my top things to do whenever I'm visiting a city, is I hunt out pizza places and bakery shops and or some Italian places. So that one combines 2 things in one, Italian and bakery. So we're back to Grant Avenue at 24th Street now. Well, since I just missed the light, let me pause this video for a second. If you go down Grant Avenue, now if you keep going like 2 or 3 blocks, that's where I started the video, but on the side of this parking garage here, there's 3 huge murals, actually 5 if you keep on going, 4 or 5, that are very nicely done. For example, there's one on the corner you can kind of get a glimpse at, playing the saxophone. Not sure what this building is, but there was a small sticker in the window that said U.S. Post Office, but I don't see like a big sign that says that. There's the Courtyard by Marriott, another hotel if you're staying in Ogden. Now over here at the corner of 24th and what street is this coming up? Lincoln. I think it's Lincoln. That's where Slackwater has moved to. We've also got a little Mexican restaurant here. Looks like a local small place to be kind of interesting to try one time. But yeah, Slackwater is right there in the parking lot. Every time I go by, it is packed. So they just did not lose any, well, at least from my perception, did not lose any customers from moving. Here's a place called Shepherd's Bush. Looks like some crafts. And if we make a right-hand turn up here, we'll get a glimpse of the Ogden Raptors baseball stadium, or baseball field. Of course, it's winter time, so no baseball is taking place here anytime soon, but maybe in a couple months. Lindquist Field. That's probably a cool shot. If you're in the stadium, just imagine you've got the mountains as your backdrop. So like I said, we're passing by Slackwater right now. And during the warmer months, you'll see the outside patios jam-packed as well. Now this section of the street is not plowed, so what I'm going to do is walk through the parking lot area, since we're kind of just making our way down to 25th Street. I'll try to see if I can cross over to the other side of the street. Looks like it might be at least a little bit plowed. What? Well, there you go. Sometimes you got some mentally deranged people around. Didn't even hear him at first. Thought he was saying, like, asking me a question. Here's the backside of Rivali's. I think they're closed on Mondays. That's why the gate is closed. So right now we're just walking through the parking lot so we can get by Union Station and eventually by the start of 25th Street. This whole parking lot here, there's like this version, and then on the opposite side, back where that hotel is, it's another parking lot. And it does say 2-hour parking Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But that's plenty of time for any visitors to all the restaurants and shops on 25th Street to, go visit and eat, or just even walk around. And then if it's on weekends, there is no limit, or if it's evening time, it's not just 2-hour parking. So the front runner station, if you're taking the train to Ogden, will be a little bit down that way. And then this is Ogden's Union Station, which has like 4 or 5 different museums located in it. So this is (25th Street and Wall Avenue) that we're at right now. Just stopping to take a picture. So my apologies. I walked and narrated for like 3 blocks down 25th Street, and all of a sudden I realized, I swear I'd hit the record button, but I just realized it wasn't recording because my device all of a sudden said, shutting off in 5 seconds. So anyway, I walked all the way back, and I'm trying to re-show some of this. Now some of these places are still open during the day, some are closed. The point I was trying to make earlier was you don't see a lot of foot traffic down 25th Street typically, because there's been a lot of times when I've been down here in the evening, and even though it's very popular. I mean, there's tons of people inside these places, but at first my instincts used to be like, I bet this place is real crowded in the evening times in terms of foot traffic. But no, people usually just go into the restaurant or shop that they're going in, and then they leave. They're not like walking around like a tourist per se. These are more so locals that are going to be in these areas, so they don't need to just be like casually walking up and down the streets. Where you will see it busier is during the summertime, when you have maybe a Sunday at certain points, and of course when the farmers markets are happening on Saturdays or Sundays. I forget what day it is during the summertime. You'll see a ton of people walking the streets and enjoying the farmers market. Here's Cold Stone Creamery, one of the national ice cream stores. So that's a contrast to Farr's, which is a local establishment. So you got a nice mix of local restaurants, fine dining, Italian, and bars scattered throughout 25th Street. There's also Hearth on 25th. And this place here on the corner is the lights are dimmed right now, but No Frills Diner. It's a breakfast place that I've been to once before. I think I included it in one of my videos as well. As we're crossing Lincoln Avenue once again. The reason I made mention that I missed 3 blocks worth of footage is because the sunlight went down during that stretch. We were right on that window where the sun was setting, so it's going to look like a big kind of a time lapse. Here's Lucky Slice Pizza. You got the skeletons enjoying the Christmas tree. Some nice artwork inside, and then they have a variety of different pizza slice options. Stella's up here is another fine Italian cuisine restaurant. This is actually the entrance to Stella's right here. And then there's a pig in a jelly jar. More of a breakfast place again. Rooster's 25th Street Brew and Eatery is up ahead. But before that, I noticed this needlepoint shop. May have been here before, but I just don't recall it. Looks like they've got some nice needlework items in there. Across the street, you've got a mix of Brewski's, which is a bar. There's Kraft Burger. Then there's also I'm missing it. City Club should be tucked away somewhere. Oh, right there, the City Club. That's a cool bar. And then there's kind of a Jack and Jill's next to that, which is a adult novelty store. Here's Wise Guys Comedy Club, if you're into catching comedians. And then that pretty much is going to conclude our video. Since I'm back at Grant Avenue now, I'm just going to make a left turn and keep on heading down to where I started the video. This would be the park where Ogden's Christmas Village took place. You can see the cottages are still up, but they're no longer active. Like, people are in the process of deconstructing them. But yeah, again, if you enjoyed this little tour of the downtown area of Ogden and some of the nearby areas, feel free to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.